So, let's get started, shall we? Momentous Choice, which was a card that was revealed yesterday, but I didn't get to look at because it was revealed off stream, and I ended my stream long before Mobalytics started working, so yeah, I didn't get to see this yesterday. This is a 1-mana burst, give an ally +1/+0, or +0/+1 this round. If they've equipped an ally this game, play a copy of me on the same target. And it's a cultist, too, so KAYN can put this in his region. Okay. It's a conditional twin disciplines at 1 mana. And weirdly more balanced as a result. Because you can't +3 stats anything, but giving +2 stats at 1 mana seems a little bit more fair. And at the same time, the play a copy thing, that makes it so that this can be +2/+0, +0/+2, or +1/+1, which is really interesting if it lets you actually pick out of those options altogether. Now, of course, the condition is equipped, so you need to have something equipped before you can mess around with this. And we don't know how common equipping is going to be in Ionia. We do know we're getting Yi because of the KAYN full arts that have been coming out, in which Yi is a very prominent figure, not to mention he got leaked yesterday temporarily. And Yi could maybe have something to do with equipment in Ionia. I wouldn't be too surprised if he did. Seems like all of his followers have some sort of goggle thing, similar to his, so I wouldn't be surprised if they use that as like some sort of equipment factor thing. But then, regardless, we don't know how common equipment's going to be in Ionia yet. In a KAYN deck, this is a pretty damn good spell, honestly. The flexibility it can give you, the potential blowouts or saves it can make at 1 mana, this is a pretty good card. You're going to get a lot of good use out of this in a KAYN deck. It really is just a question of how powerful is it going to be in other decks, you know? Okay, Demasia's new spell. Silence and Suppress, also 1 mana and slow. Destroy a unit's equipment. If it's a follower, silence it. Whoa. Okay. So, this weapon is kind of big. It's not a weapon, it's a spell. This spell is kind of big. That silence, 1 mana silence already we know is decent thanks to Equinox. This is Equinox with an upside. You can destroy equipment. So I guess this is the anti-equipment tools, much like how we got anti-landmark tools when those first came out. We're now getting anti-equipment tools as well. Which naturally, much like the anti-landmark removal, the viability of this is going to depend on how viable equipment is. Because as landmarks got better, so did landmark removal. So as equipment gets better, so will equipment removal probably. I must say, being able to destroy any unit's equipment immediately gives a check to KAYN. KAYN looked a little unbalanced, to be quite honest. Definitely a little bit strong. Rost naturally looking stronger than the Shadow Assassin. That's just how Rost works, baby. But the ability to break KAYN's equipment and basically send him back to being a 3/6 or a 2/5 if you get him early enough, that can hurt a lot. That can really hurt KAYN. Shadow Assassin is all about hitting with empowered power, and being strong to hit the Nexus while elusive. So if you pull that away, and you don't get your empowered attack now, and you're just swinging with a 3/6, suddenly, KAYN feels kind of bad to play. And his level 2 feels, honestly, even more atrocious, because KAYN Shadow Assassin level 2 is just the weapon. Whereas with Rost, at least you still have that heal effect. Hexbliterator. 6 mana fast P and Z. Deal 5 to a unit. If I kill it, obliterate it. That is a funky effect. Okay. So we have a 6 mana deal 5 already in the form of Monster Harpoon. Where's that 5 mana? Well, regardless, it discounts itself to 3, and Monster Harpoon becomes one of the best cards in the game when discounted. Or at least it used to. I feel like they nerfed that. I can't quite remember. 6 to 4 Harpoon? Okay, thank you. I couldn't quite remember. Didn't it used to be 5 to 3, and now it's 6 to 4? Was that the nerf they did? I feel like that was the nerf they did. Well, regardless, deal 5 to a unit fast is a decent effect. It used to be 6-3. Okay. Well, so we know 6 mana deal 5 is usable, at least. Granted, the vast majority of people who use Monster Harpoon used it with the unplundered version. But this is basically a Monster Harpoon for P and Z. With, rather than a plunder upside, a upside of if I kill a unit, deal 5... Or if I kill a unit, obliterate it. Which is interesting? I'm not quite sure what this entails, right? Obliterates equipments. Oh, that's fair. Okay, that's true. Removing the equipments on a unit is actually pretty important. So obliterating a unit and taking its equipment with it, that's worth noting. Outside of obliterating equipped units, most of the units that you want to kill with this, i.e. any unit with Last Breath, usually they don't have, like, 5 health. Most of them usually have, like, 2 or 3. So you're usually overkilling with this amount of damage. It's not bad. Again, much like how I was just talking about with Demacia, the viability of the equipment removal is dependent based on the equipment itself. Much like how landmark removal's viability is dependent on landmarks. RE66 is tier 0, or I'm a microwave. What is this RE66 thing? Turn 1 landmark, turn 2 RE. Okay, wait, what is this? Turn 1 landmark? Is this something that was revealed? Oh, buried armory. I see, okay. I did talk about Treasure of the Sands briefly yesterday, but we didn't know what the landmark was at that point, so I couldn't really assess it. Now that we do know what the landmark is, 1 mana countdown 2 for a 3 mana 4/4 seems ridiculous. And yeah, a 6/6 Ari on turn 3 definitely seems nutty. Honestly, I'm not sure what the fuck this is. I'm kind of surprised that this is a 1 mana landmark. I would have figured this would have been like 2 mana or something. Akshan? Oh god, yeah, Akshan breaks this shit. Ari scares me more. I can understand that. Yeah, I did say to judge the viability of Treasure of the Sands, we'd need to know the viability of the landmark that makes it. Buried Armory seems like a really fucking good landmark. So I'm going to say these two are pretty damn viable looking. Loaded Vessel, builds water fast, 5 mana. Deal 2 to a unit, draw 1 next round start for each damage dealt and give them fleeting. Where do I start with this? I'm not sure if it's better than Eye of Nagakiboros, even dealing 3. Well, Eye of Nagakiboros is a burst, spawn 2, draw 2. So, a swing of 4, if you want to look at it like that. You get 2 stat lines and 2 cards. So, swing of 4. This is the same thing at base. A swing of 4. 2 mana, not 2 mana. Dealing 2 to a unit, and drawing 2 at round start. The trade-off is that Nagakiboros is instantaneous, you get the draw instantly, whereas Loaded Vessel is fast, so you get the damage later. And even beyond that, yeah, I think once you start getting the damage up, like, if you get 1 keg, this does start outvaluing Nagakiboros. It's a swing of 6. You deal 3 damage and draw 3. The issue is, and I think the main thing that keeps this drag down from really ever surpassing Nagakiboros, is the fleeting. The fleeting doesn't give you any good feeling whatsoever. Because yes, you are getting good card advantage, and you do get to have better reaction and potentially better tools for your next turn. But on the other side of the coin, you have to play them that turn, or you're losing all the value of those cards. And let's say you pull, like, a Misfortune and a Gangplank on the same turn, and it's like turn 6. You're fucked. You can't do anything. You gotta pick which one you play, and just send the other one in a Viking's death to the graveyard. Okay. This was not what I was expecting to click onto. Gatalyst, P and Z equipment, 3 mana. Your spells and skills deal 1 extra damage. What? Huh? Okay. So this is particularly interesting to me. You're basically paying 3 mana for the Funsmith effect, with the viability of being able to put it on any unit. So you can put it on beefy units. You can put it on units with good stat lines. Units that are good at staying alive. You can put this on an Ezreal. God, you can put this on an Ezreal. And you have the Funsmith effect the entire time the thing's alive. I'm not sold any one way on this card. I think it's okay. I think there are going to be units to put this on. I truly believe Ezreal players are going to find the units to put this on immediately. Immediately, they're going to find the units that break this thing. Alright, new Cultist. 4 mana, 2/4 Noxian Defector. Quick attack. Attack, grow my power to that of the strongest equipped ally this round. Noxian Defector is the Gwen of Cultists. Here's my hot take. This card is good. Worst Teemo? No, I think this card is pretty good, man. It's a little hard to assess this, but the way I'm looking at it, you want this in a specific deck. Not just as specific as a KAYN deck. You want this in specifically a Shadow Assassin deck. Because with Shadow Assassin, every time you attack, you're growing your power by 2. 4 mana 2/4 isn't a great stat line, but what I'm saying is, if you attack with this guy, and you're attacking with your Shadow Assassin KAYN, the Scythe gives him +2/+0. You attack with your Noxian Defender at the same time, and now you've got like a, 9/6 elusive swinging, and a 9/4 quick attack swinging. Prefect is a worthy counter-argument to this. I am perhaps overvaluing this card, but I feel like in Shadow Assassin decks, this card is going to be good. That's my thought. I could be wrong. Whatever. New Ionian Landmark. 3 mana Mistfall. When I'm summoned, draw an equipment. The first time each round an unequipped ally is equipped, refill 1 spell mana and grant them +1/+0. This is probably our best hint for now about what Yi is going to do. Summoning, when it's summoned, it draws an equipment, which means Yi decks, and Ionia in particular, keep in mind, this is not a cultist, this is Ionia specifically. So Ionia is probably going to be another equipment region. If this is the direction they're deciding to push this stuff. The first time each round unequipped ally is equipped, refill 1 spell mana. So that's theoretically going to help you equip more items or play Ionian spells, right? We've got the 1 mana Momentous Choice over here, right? My guess is Yi is wide boards with cheap equipment. Just looking at this. You were thinking of Captive Greyback. Mistfall reminds me of Veiled Temple. I'm kind of getting similar vibes from that. Veiled Temple used to refill, once you've played 2 cards every round, grant your strongest ally +1/+1, nerfed to +1/+0, and refill 2 mana. Veil Temple was one of my favorite landmarks, honestly. And this is attempting to one-up it with a more strict condition. You need to have an unequipped ally to equip. It refills less mana and grants the same stat buff, but it also tutors its trigger. This seems to be intended support for Yi, so we're just gonna have to wait and see what Yi does. But it's looking like Yi has something to do with equipment. And that seems pretty cool, honestly. Final card of the day is a 3-mana 3/2 quick attack, Shadowblade Fanatic. Once you've equipped an ally this game, create a Shadow Fiend in hand. Is this supposed to be Ren? Is this Ren Shadowblade again? I'll be honest, this seems pretty meh. They keep trying to make Shadow Fiend like an actual viable card. They've done it with Ren now, multiple times. I don't know about this one. Will Shadow Fiend stuff ever work? The answer is no. Yeah, it never will. Even though it's a really good turn 1 unit, the ephemeral effect just doesn't matter. There is an offhand chance, and I mean offhand chance, that this gets played in Zed decks. 3-mana 3/2 quick attack is just Zed's stat line. And you're gonna want to, if there's main deckable equipment in Ionia, you're probably going to want to use that in a Zed deck anyway. So you'll be getting this guy's trigger probably in a Zed deck. That's the most I can really think of. Maybe some Hecarim Zed stuff will come out of this. Yeah, I can see that. But as a cultist and as a KAYN follower, not happening. This card is not happening. Some interesting reveals today. Pretty interesting variety day, honestly. A couple of the cards that came out look kind of nuts. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if they're actually any good. I guess we just have to sit and wait. But hey, tomorrow is the first teaser for Champion, their new ARG thing. I kind of want to see what that is, honestly. All right, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.